Hello, my name is Drew Ingvelson and I am the Senior Planner at the City of Minnetonka. If you have any questions after viewing this presentation, feel free to contact me by phone or email as shown on your screen. This is the staff presentation for the Fisher and Francis Residence Accessory Dwelling Unit, or ADU, request for the March 26, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. For this project, City staff is recommending the City Council adopt the resolution denying a conditional use permit for an accessory dwelling unit at 15815 Minnetonka Boulevard. A recommendation to approve the request requires 4 affirmative votes from the Planning Commission. The subject property is southeast of the Minnetonka Boulevard-Tonkawood Road intersection. On the right is a zoomed-in aerial. For a landmark, just to the west of the property and across Tonkawood Road is Bethlehem Lutheran Church. The subject property is rather large, at 1.35 acres, and is zoned R1, low-density residential. The subject property is improved with a single household dwelling. The home is 2 stories with an attached garage. It has a floor area of 4,571 square feet and was built in 1941. It also has an accessory dwelling unit on the property. The accessory dwelling unit is existing and has 2 stories, and it has 1 bedroom on the top floor. The floor area is 916 square feet. The first floor includes a kitchen, bathroom, living room, laundry, and again, the second floor has a bedroom. Per the applicant, this structure was built in the 1970s. I should also include that there on the site includes a 105 square foot shed in the rear yard. This slide shows public views of the existing home and ADU, looking from Minnetonka Boulevard from the north and also Tonkawood Road to the west. The home and existing ADU are located at least 150 feet from all public streets. These views are taken from Wood Knoll Lane from the south. As you can see, the home and existing ADU are rather well screened, except for a small opening between 2 shrubs. There is 100-year floodplain on the subject property, which is shown in blue. However, all floodplain is located at least 60 feet from the proposed ADU. On your screen is a rendering of the proposed ADU. It would be architecturally consistent with the existing home, using similar colors, materials, and a pitched roof. The proposed ADU, highlighted in purple, would be located in the same general location as the existing ADU, which is outlined in red, but it would move slightly closer to the home. Overall, the ADU would be set back 27 feet from the side property line and over 170 feet from the 2 nearest public streets. The proposed ADU would be 2 floors. The first floor would include a 2-stall garage, wet bar, screen porch, and bathroom. The second floor would include living area, a kitchen, bathroom, utility room, and 2 bedrooms. In total, it would be 2,376 square feet of floor area, which includes all space of the ADU. The height of the ADU would be 30.1 feet, which is 6 feet taller than the existing home. To help enhance screening of the ADU, the applicant has proposed adding a 16-foot conifer tree between the ADU and Minnetonka Boulevard, shown in light green. They have also proposed adding a line of arborvitae trees along the western property line, which you can see to the left of the proposed ADU. City Code limits ADU's size to 1,000 square feet or 35 feet of the floor area of the principal structure, whichever is less, and height is limited to the height of the principal structure. The proposed ADU would exceed all 3 of these requirements. Per City Code, the City may, but is not required to, approve ADUs that exceed the size and height limits set by the conditional use permit standards, if the structure would not result in an undue adverse impact on neighboring properties. For comparison, city staff has added the largest ADUs approved since 2022 in these categories, and generally, the proposed ADU would be larger than all ADUs previously approved. It is important to note that the largest percentage of a floor area approved for an ADU was technically 71%. However, this was for the conversion of an existing detached structure. The largest new build ADU was 35%. Or 38%, I apologize. One goal of the ADU ordinance is to limit ADU size so that they appear and function as subordinate or accessory to the principal dwelling, not as a separate standalone dwelling. During review, staff have found that the structure size is a concern. Considering this goal, the proposed ADU would be only 776 square feet smaller than the median Minnetonka house, which is 3,152 square feet, and larger than 17.6% or 2,349 of the detached single-family homes within Minnetonka. The city mailed out notices to 34 nearby properties regarding this project. As of this recording, the city has received 3 comments. 2 comments were in support of the request, and 1 requested additional information. See the staff report attachments for comments. Staff recommendation. The applicant has tried to minimize potential adverse impacts of the ADU by locating it away from property lines, locating it behind existing vegetation, and adding vegetation to increase screening. However, city staff have found that the applicant's proposal is not consistent with the intent of the ADU ordinance. The intent of the ordinance is to allow a secondary dwelling unit that is clearly an accessory in both appearance and function to an existing residence. The proposed ADU would significantly exceed both the height, percentage of the principal structure, and size limits outlined in the ordinance. These discrepancies create conflict between the proposed ADU and the ADU ordinance. As such, city staff is recommending the city council adopt the resolution denying a conditional use permit for an accessory dwelling unit at 15815 Minnetonka Boulevard. Next steps. Currently, anyone with comments on the subject item can submit them on the Fisher and Francis webpage on the Minnetonka Matters website. Upcoming, this item will be heard by the Planning Commission on March 26th at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. The Planning Commission will provide a recommendation on the project. On April 13th, the item will be heard by the City Council, who will make a final decision on the request. Thank you for viewing this presentation.